IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Made in India, hosted by May Thomas, where she brings exclusive acoustic sessions and interviews with the best independent musicians in India.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello, welcome guys. A new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast is here, and we are back again in the studio. It's just me and Kevin, but Chiranjit is joining us via phone call from a train. Well, that's how it is.
Yeah, I'm on a train.
Yeah, once for him, it's always a mobile podcast. So, I'm your host, Suju, and this is the new episode. And finally, we had a goalless draw in a match.
You called it, Siju. You called it.
Well, but it was not a boring, dull, nothing of sort of that. It kept you on the edge of the seat till the last minute because both the teams were showing great chances, had some great touches on the ball. Especially to have seen NEROCA play that beautiful game was just amazing. Chiranjit, I'm going to straight come to you. What a game for NEROCA, and this is equal to a win because they've got it against a big team like Mohun Bagan. And what happened to Bagan? I mean, even after getting those big names into their squad again.
I don't know if I'm going back to nursery school with this one, but anybody who's got a little bit of knowledge will tell you should not play players who are not completely fit. Okay, and it's not worth risking. And it's not like there's no squad depth for Mohun Bagan. So they definitely started Dikta and Sonny Node before they were ready to really return to action and almost played the full game, which is atrocious. And what was that? You could see that Sonny Node in the first minute is not taking the free kicks because his knee is not fully stretchable at this point, right? So he doesn't have the speed. He cannot have that same power behind the ball. He's just gonna be there to just knock it to other people with accuracy. And he kept playing. Dika was taking the free kicks. He was not doing the best job with it. It just went on, and Dika got chances to finish. His finishing shot was slow. Sonny Node got a chance to finish. His left foot was completely out of the. I don't even know what was going on with him. Of course, he ended up hurting himself again, and now we don't know when he's going to come back. Dika probably got his full recovery delayed. Was it worth it in the end? That's what I'm going to ask. I don't know. Obviously, Sanjay Sen is not listening to this, but whoever is listening, if you're a Mohun Bagan fan, if you're a Mohun Bagan official, was this worth it? Risking two of your strikers or best players up front in a game against NEROCA, which completely stunts your attack in the end. So, what gives?
Well, now, how do you assess NEROCA's game? Like I started off the show saying that NEROCA had a brilliant game. I mean, it was really good to watch them play also, and they had few chances, and also especially the keeper, Lalit Thapar, did a great job.
So one of these newspapers came up with this report about it today. I was reading in the morning, and it said that Rana Gharami, this young defender, playing his first I-League game as a starter, he got the Man of the Match award, right? Which shows that NEROCA could have won.
Yeah.
So really good performance from the midfield from NEROCA. They were creating chances. Of course, I thought that the Mohun Bagan defense actually looked good. Kingsley was out, but having Rana Gharami in that space was really working out for them. They were not doing not so many mistakes at the back. There were certain situations, like one or two situations where NEROCA strikers just shot wide of the target.
Yeah.
But they could have easily just found the target if they had kept it in the line. But it did not work out. But it doesn't always work out. You're playing a big club. You're going to be under pressure. Those kind of mistakes will happen. So.
Right.
But overall Mohun Bagan defense was okay, and that justifies the clean sheet. But the attack screwed it up. 5 shots on target. There were 10 shots which were actually not even taken because somebody just screwed up the shot. just that last move in the final third, which just it's pathetic at this point.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, I'm coming to you. This league is just getting interesting from here on. When we started, we thought there are these two big giants, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, with all the cream of the I-League, Indian football, the players that they have with the foreigners or whether the Indian squad. Both the teams have depth and all of that, and we thought it could be a cakewalk for both these teams. Not a cakewalk, but at least a bit of easy that they have those names and they can just easily win, get 3 points from all the matches. But looking at a side like, especially from the teams from the northeast, like Shillong or Aizawl or NEROCA for that matter, they are putting up the fight, though their best players are not there anymore, and they are coming up with those young talent. They are like performing and shining on the field, giving tough competitions to these big teams. So that just shows the league is just in for some more surprise, and it's not going to be those two teams dominating. It's going to be finally a competition out there.
Just recalling last season, this was when Mohun Bagan had come to Mumbai FC to play their game, and it was a draw. And at the post-match conference, Sanjay Sen said, somebody asked, do you think it's good that Mumbai FC is able to get in those draws? So Sanjay Sen replied saying, it's good that smaller teams can win. It makes the league very much more interesting, and this is the same case. Now it's obviously a small team compared to the budget and the star names and the signings that the Mohun Bagan have got, but the passion that is shown in this team, regardless of whatever is on the field with regards to the money and signings part, I think there was no lack of determination from NEROCA, although they were on the back foot at times, but then when in possession of the ball, I think they look a little bit of dangerous. The situation was such that I always keep pointing out that there is a heavy dependence of on foreigners and especially a couple of key players in the Mohun Bagan team, but it's not the same for other teams. Just go by how NEROCA is. The captain Lalit Thapa is the one who's actually getting the shape of the defense together. He's the one who's calling out, having them not leave their places. And it really helps. There was two occasions Mohun Bagan did score and it was ruled offside. It just shows the shape that defense has kept. When you are trapping your offsides well, it just shows a sign of a disciplined defense. Now, if you can just hold on, I did make a point yesterday that if they're able to have a goalless, they don't concede in the first 50-60 minutes, it's a good result for them. And getting a goalless draw was even better, but I think the NEROCA did have one or two chances of their own. So yes, coming back to your point, Suju, I think it just makes the league more interesting when you don't have just a 2-horse or 3-horse race for the title. Teams like NEROCA coming at Mohun Bagan and getting out a draw is just fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the league just gets interesting like we always keep saying by every game. Now, the other match that happened last night was between these two struggling sides, but one of them is still struggling. Churchill Brothers played at home against Chennai City, and Chennai City got their first win, a 2-0 victory. Coming to you, Chiranjit, Churchill is still struggling and continues to do that. What is going wrong with them even after playing at home and there with some two good goals from Chennai City to get their first win?
Well, it's a matter of not having the right balance in the squad. I don't think they're working as a unit as yet. It looks like the hastily assembled the squad is very different from the one they were playing in GPL. Even that wasn't that good actually. Salgaonkar and Dimpo have been really much better. I think they could have actually tried to rate those clubs, but at this point, the way they are approaching the season, the way they are playing, just trying the same thing over and over again, the same faulty midfield, the same defensive errors that keep happening, and they don't look like they're trying too much to sub people out and just try a new shape. Anything, at one point you have to think about, okay, we're just losing. What's the point? Let's try something. What do we have to lose? We're going to lose again or what? So it just seems like it's a filler campaign that they're running because I-League needed the 10th club. or something like that. It's a favor to AIFF president or something like that they are existing in the league at the moment, and they're just waiting for the merger to happen so that they can drop out again. Yes, I don't even see that reason. Probably I'm in a completely negative mindset because of the way Mohun Bagan yesterday completely left me pissed off and all that stuff. But correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't see that hunger in them. You see the way NEROCA played. You could see the way after losing so many matches, Chennai City turned up. You could see every single one of the players stretching themselves in the run. That's what you can. That's what you can tell. Even Chroma, Mohun Bagan's Chroma. Kevin just mentioned how often he was getting into the offside trap. But I think he was just too eager to prove himself because he's come under criticism for his positioning and his finishing abilities. That's why he's stretching himself all the time and falling into that trap, which he will have to correct. But you could see that zeal in him. You could see the same thing from Susairaj. You could see the same thing from all the foreign players that Chennai City had. Everybody was out there to prove themselves. It's like if you keep losing, even you as a player get a bad team because people will ask, what did you do?
Right.
When you are not producing results. What did you try?
Right.
What can we depend you for? That's what those players were trying to do out there. That's what the coach was trying to do out there. Churchill Brothers not the same.
Yeah,
and this is sad because Churchill Alama has spent so much money promoting this game. You had like 6,500 people at the stadium, which is pretty good for Vasco.
Yeah.
So the team did not deliver. The club, I can't even say because of the effort put in by Churchill Alama, I can't even say like they're not trying, but what's being told to the
not
players?
showing on the field. Well, fair points out there. Kevin, coming to you, when you see a team doing well continuously, we say that okay, there will be a time when they will fall at one point or the other, or they continue to do well. So it goes the same with the teams that are struggling, and Chennai City is a good example. Though both the teams these were struggling, and probably you can't judge Chennai City's performance here, but we also saw them against Gokulam how they held up, and now coming here, but Churchill just continues, and I think you would agree on the point where Chiranjit said that you don't see that zeal, you don't see that hunger in Churchill Brothers to say that okay, I'm going to go out there and fight. So have they lost it when they were almost there against East Bengal to get a point, and that they failed in that, and again they've gone back saying they've lost the motivation? Or are you going to still stick to the point saying that the coach needs to communicate, and probably that's not happening?
Yeah, it's both. Firstly, the team itself, it doesn't look that they want it enough. When your team itself is not ready to get in the points that will just smoothen out things for yourself, it's not going to be helping the coach either. The coach is going to only do his job before they enter the field, and after that it's just tactics or whatever on game or during the game changes. But the way Churchill has approached every game, apart from the East Bengal game, it didn't really look that they are in for at least taking a point away. It's more like, okay, let's play a game, and mostly what the feeling is, not every player has understood his role and responsibility. It's more like in a second division side playing in the first division for the first time. That's what the feeling is. Not the fight is not there. But we were expecting a lot of goals over here, but unfortunately it was just one-sided. And credit to Chennai City, the way they started the game, and they just continued. They didn't sit back and just be happy, be content with that one goal lead. Joachim was there, Joachim, Murillo. And I think that the key players obviously have been the ones who've been there from the last season. Edwin What a great pass that was for that goal.
Susairaj
as always, he's a hard worker.
Yeah.
You just don't see him on the goal sheet. That doesn't mean that he's not the one behind.
He's the one leading the team from the front.
Yeah. And the red card didn't really help Churchill. Needless tackle. You already on a yellow card. Lack of maturity there from the young player. It doesn't really help Churchill when you already 2 goals down and then lose a player on the field.
It hurts.
And I think Chennai City could have scored even more if the ball wouldn't have hit the post twice.
Right, absolutely.
Would have been a 4-0 goal.
Yeah. Now, I think it's time that Churchill will get back to their... I mean, we keep on saying this, but once when they showed some fight against East Bengal, we thought they're back into the groove, but they're still struggling. So I hope they also bring up some fight to the table.
I think the first key has to be try to not concede.
Yeah.
They are just trying too many things at once. Maybe just stick to one thing. Try to get their defense solid packed up rather than trying to go for counter attacks. It's just not working or clicking anyway. Just maybe have a goal, have a clean sheet in one game and then just see how things work out.
Or maybe just just focus on something, just like you said, 1 point, and go for it. Probably go for a draw and keep it to that if you're not. As just like Chiranjit said, first get the hunger. You want to do well, and then you go up and you play a good performance. But that brings us to the end of the first half on the show, and it's time to take a short break. On the other side, we have an ISL game tonight to look at. It's between Northeast and Mumbai City. An interesting game coming our way, and we shall talk about it on the other side.
In a world where people are busy playing Mendicote at Diwali parties, 2 men decide to go all in the river.
Don't you mean on the river?
On the river.
Oh yeah.
2 men will go where no one has ever gone before, to a studio with no air conditioning or Coke Zero, to talk about poker.
Hey, order lo na yaar koi, kya hai ye bakwas?
The SpartanPoker.com presents Mera Kaam Poker, hosted by Azim Banatwala,
The best comedian in the world, according to himself.
and Peter Abraham.
Not related to John.
New episodes out every Wednesday on the IBM podcast app or any other podcasting app you use. And for all our listeners who want to try out their hand at poker, you can log on to thespartanpoker.com, register yourself as a user with the promo code IBM, and you will get 200 bonus cash, which you can use to play poker for free. See you at the tables.
Welcome back, guys, and here we have an ISL match to look at. Now tonight, Northeast United FC host Mumbai City FC. Mumbai City, they lost their first home game for the season last time against ATK. A repeat of what happened last season as well when they were playing the knockout match. Now ATK got their first win at Mumbai, but Mumbai does look like they're getting into the groove of getting some points, while Northeast on the other side will miss their keeper Renesh TP after he got a red card. So a lot of changes for the coach to go about. It even adds to their misery because they're not doing that well. They've just got one win on their bag. But coming to you, Kevin, starting with you, how do you see this? Northeast United playing at home, do you see them having the advantage? Both are not doing that great, but Mumbai City is slowly gaining that momentum.
I think Northeast would have been better if they had gone ahead with Subrata Paul. I think at least they would concede a few less goals. Renesh TP, he does tend to just leave his line up a bit too early, and sometimes he's the one, he's the culprit who's getting in those pressure on your defenders. But sad to see that he will be missing the game, being the first choice keeper. Looking at the game, Mumbai City will be trying to get that away point from Northeast United, and Northeast United want to get that small form they had got going against with them, trying to get that back. Maybe a goal or two is going to help them. But their forward line is really shaky. I don't see them coordinated well enough. Most of the time what you see is you've just got one forward who's attacking the ball, where in fact you should be having at least the fullbacks or the wingers coming in for support. So the rebounds and the blocked the block passes or the block shots are always easy for the defenders to pick and go ahead. So Mumbai City, their midfield needs to step up. Senaj Singh has been doing well. Emana is okay. But Balwant Singh cannot be heavily dependent on. You need some guys like, last year you had Forlan, you had Costa.
He's also missing.
That's a sad part that
Injury.
he's missing. So these are the players that whom you would want to see, get in the game where your strikers fail to impress, your midfielders don't do enough hard work. You need those set pieces being taken advantage of. Neither teams are doing well in the set pieces. So I think it's a good test for both teams against a slightly moderate strength team. Playing against each other, you can just bring out your best. For Mumbai City, I think 1 goal should suffice if they're able to get it early. Northeast United shouldn't be happy with just a draw.
So Ranjit, coming to you now, we are seeing the one team is still trying to look for something going right for them, but the other side, Mumbai City, are finally probably have got their combination right to get a win. But if Balwant Singh does not come to his full potential, or the guys behind him like a Goyan or Senaj Singh and the other guys, we would still see them struggling. But do you see that happening in tonight's match, or do you see Northeast coming back strong?
Well, Northeast do have a golden opportunity to make a comeback. Playing at home, playing Mumbai City when they seem to be at a vulnerable position. You saw the way ATK outplayed them, literally. It seemed like they have been some tiredness creeping onto the team. They've had a few matches, frequent traveling team it has been, and it just looked like they were slower on the pitch. And if you have a bunch of players who can really put in that extra amount of work and outrun them, basically, that can put Mumbai City in a weak spot. So ATK did that. Northeast United are quite capable of doing that. We just have to outwork them, basically. It's as simple as that. So they have the team that's capable of doing it. It's a young team. It's full of guys from Mizoram and Assam and all that stuff. So yeah, it's possible, but will they? I don't think Northeast United have been having that kind of success in the last few matches. I think who was it they played last? Kerala Blasters away from home. Obviously, it's a humid night out. You're playing at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, Kochi. It's not going to be the most pleasant conditions for a visiting team, but you just did not see the Northeast United wing backs catch up with the pace of the KBFC wingers. It just was not happening most of the time, and the finishing was way off. It seemed like they did get a couple of chances. They should have taken that. You're playing away from home. You're expected to take one of those few moments that you get and get your goal, which completely changes the complexion of the match. They couldn't do it, so they ended up dropping those points. They will be more cautious in this game. They will be under a bit more pressure. They're on 2 losses. They will want to at least salvage a point here and try to just sort of get out of this rut that they have been on for the last 1 week or so. But I just have this feeling that the pressure may tell on them negatively. Okay. And part of that is also because I think after losing the game against ATK, which is pretty much a shock that this Mumbai City team needed, they might actually choose this game as a platform to come back and show the kind of zeal that ATK players were showing. You saw the way they were reacting to the challenges, to the tackles, to the whole scene.
Right.
So yeah, we might see a similar game from Mumbai City tonight, and that might tip Northeast United.
Right. So are you saying that there will be goals from Mumbai City, or will it be just a 1-0 win?
I don't see too many goals. Probably a 1-0 win is enough if Mumbai City can keep their defensive shape, because Northeast United attack does not seem to have gelled yet.
Okay.
Unless something has changed in the last 4-5 days.
Okay. Kevin? Are you still sticking to that?
Yeah, 1-0 to Mumbai City. If Northeast get their wingers in place and be ready for those rebounds and block shots, probably a 1-1, but then it's a 1-0 to Mumbai City.
Or a goalless draw as well, like usual. Safer to say. Well, let's see. Let's hope for another cracker of a game tonight. Hopefully, it won't be a goalless draw. And even if it happens a goalless draw, hope it's exciting and entertaining till the end and not a boring game. But that brings us to the end of our show. If you did like it, then please do show your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so don't miss out on any of our episodes. Let us know your thoughts in our comment sections below about the matches that we spoke about today. You can also follow us on TFG Football, Twitter handle, to get all the updates about the matches and everything that happens in Indian football. You can also follow us personally, or you can talk to us if you want to. Chiranjit Oja, Boza_Kevin, Siju Matthew 94. You can also read about all these matches on our website, thefangarage.com. Have a great day, guys. Come back to us tomorrow. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.